Your easiest next flip is this one. So we're standing here at a house in Sugar House. It's February of 2024. We're at about 2600 South and 2600 East, 2100 South, if anyone is in Utah that is aware of this area. It's a nice area near the University of Utah, just at the mouth of Parley's Canyon, where you'd go up to Park City. So it's a great spot. It's always proven to be an in-demand area. And so why this is our next easiest flip, and this is a lesson for you, hopefully, is because we just finished a house, sold it, closed it out. We did another video of it just recently, where it was pretty much the exact same square footage and almost the exact same scope of work. So why is this your next best flip? Well, hopefully the answer is obvious, but we'll review it. Because we just closed out that last house. We have the full real budget of updated numbers for what materials and labors are going for these days. So we had a ton of confidence. Confidence is always a good thing, because if you have confidence in your numbers, you can have confidence to make decision and do it. Not only did we know our numbers, so we knew our numbers, we also have, basically we're using almost the exact same crew and vendors and suppliers and subcontractors that we just recently did on the other house for this house. So we've got momentum. They know how we work because we just did it on the last house, and we're going to just replicate the same thing, but in a slightly different property on this one. So the confidence and the momentum, and then we also knew our timeline. We just did the last house, so we learned like what order we should go in, when we should bring in the plumber, the electrician, how the permitting process worked with Salt Lake City. Different house, different neighborhood, but basically the exact same process. So that's given us a ton of confidence to do this one. So a little bit about this deal. I just mentioned kind of the address. This home is slightly different than the one we just did as far as a layout, but the approach is the same. The other reason why your next flip, the easiest next flip, is the one to kind of model after the same neighborhood and scope of work and age of your last house, is because we don't have to rethink what we're going to put in this house. We're basically going to do the identical features, because why? We know it's sold. It worked. Somebody liked it. They paid top dollar for it. So why recreate the wheel? Now, as an aside, every once in a while, you do want to change up what you're doing, because you might get bored with it. And when you get bored with it, you might not be as excited to do it. And then if everybody's doing the same thing, then every house looks the exact same, which if they sell, who cares? But for at least 2 or 3 houses in a row, we'll always use probably the exact same stuff. When I say the exact same stuff, I mean the same paint color, the same cabinets, the same flooring, the same tile, the same fixtures, the same lighting, the same, possibly even down to the same paint color on the outside. Because if it works, why change it? So that's your recipe for success, is when you're stuck going, man, I want, or sometimes we get shiny object syndrome. So I was like, well, I've always wanted to do a flip, and maybe you should do a flip in another area, but if you're kind of struggling for confidence and momentum, just take a minute, evaluate the most recent flip that you did. You have a recipe for what worked or what didn't, and if it didn't work, adjust it for the next one. Your budget, your experience is so fresh on your mind that it should be very easy to implement on the next one, and that's what we're doing here. And what's happened is we're probably 3 to 4 weeks ahead of where we were on the last one, because we just recently learned so much from what we did on the last house. So the numbers on this one, I don't know if we're going to quite hit the same ARV as we did on the other ones. Otherwise, the values are pretty similar, but we were able to get a little bit of a better price on this one. So this one we picked up for $465. Our remodel budget is about $145,000 to $150,000. That's going to make this thing look pretty much brand new inside and maybe not 100% outside, but inside this thing's going to look really brand new. We beamed so that we have a nice, as open of a floor plan as we can have on the main floor. We have a primary bedroom with a washer and dryer, 2 vanities, walk-in closet, and shower upstairs. And we learned that we could get away with that and do that because that's what this neighborhood wants. That's exactly what we did on the other house, and it sold. And then in the basement, we opened up the floor plan. So we're going to have 2 really awesome bedrooms, a really generous family room and storage in the basement. And we got a nice little 1-car garage. So our numbers on this one, $465 purchase, about $145 for the remodel. and time will tell. We are on a slightly busier street, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's actually about as busy or less busy than the street we're on the other one. So we're hoping to hit somewhere in that 750, maybe 800 range for this one. And if we can do that, it'll be a success. But even if we don't hit our numbers and we can nail our ARV numbers, because that's always a little bit of a floating number, you know, but if we can hit the timeline as far as start to finish on the remodel and our budget, this one will be a success no matter what. And again, the key is we learn from the last one. So buy homes that are similar while you learn how to do those. And then you can branch off and maybe, you know, maybe if you've been sticking in the first time homeowner neighborhood, do a bunch of those so you get really good at those. And then try a new recipe, you know, and a new scope of work on another neighborhood. Get really, really good at those. And then it'll be so much easier to estimate your rehab. You're going to have more confidence. You're going to shrink your timeline for the rehab. And your contractors that you're working with are going to really enjoy that they don't have to get too creative in their thinking, because what they're doing is a little different for every house, but it's going to look and feel the same. Even though we just started on this one, I'm looking for my next 2 or 3 flips. So the areas that I'm comfortable with is I would love to find another East Side Avenues, you know, higher value neighborhood in Salt Lake where the homes were maybe built, you know, 1920 to 1970. So if any of you have one that you're looking to partner on, or you're looking to not do yourself, or you have a lead with a seller and you don't want to do it, we're looking to buy another one, and we'd love to feature it in one of our videos and see what we can't make of it. So anyway, much success to you, much success to us. I hope this one turns out great, and we're going to keep learning and sharing what we learn and how you can maybe implement it yourself.